Running tonight, we have Cassidy Moen, Etium, Relkin, and Ovidius Nasso. I'm Poseidon, and joining me for commentary this evening is Captain MD13. Captain, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, and it looks like we're already off. And to start things off, we get a blue tunic in Link's house and a hard container in the Sank.
Alright, health and defense, can't complain.
And we get a nice early map check. I believe that was a blue pendant at Tower of Hera, a regular crystal at Eastern, and a red crystal at Desert.
Yeah, only one I didn't catch was Desert, but I'm going to take your word for it. Alright, so Etium's visiting our dear old uncle. Getting a heart piece, Relkin's coming down too.
And it would appear that our Tier 1 tree pull is magic. Small magic, and the bush crabs just have some hearts.
And just another heart past the guards. Looks like a couple of bombs on the lumberjack ledge.
Nothing our runners will have to be worried about for the moment. And it seems Ovidius Nasso and Cassidy will both be going straight into the Lost Woods, pick up the 2 items there, and then probably head south to Kakariko.
And looks like our first shield.
Nothing like a little early, even more early defense in an already early defense heavy first couple minutes.
Yep, can't complain. Blue mail, 4 hearts, a shield, 50 rupees down the hole there.
Yeah, that's definitely pretty, those 50 rupees may end up being necessary right off the bat to buy some bombs if we cannot find any before the back of Blind's hut or the back of the Kakariko well.
Relkin, meanwhile, being rude to the lumberjacks. But Ovidius will be our first into Kakariko.
Cassidy just picking up their blue shirt now.
Ovidius coming down here to start with the 4 items, probably hoping one of them's bombs, I'm sure.
Cassidy just gonna take the Lake Hylia safety measure and get the bombs there. And
hey, there's bombs anyway.
That's what you call a Blind's Hut bailout right there.
Yeah, couple of bombs, couple arrows, 20 rupees, and a heart container.
I blinked and I missed what was on Lake Hylia Island, but I'm going to take another quick look on my phone stream playback.
Alright, meanwhile, the back of Blind's hut is the bow. And we also have 100 rupees, so I believe that's roughly bottle vendor territory.
Just right on the cusp. And it was a heart container on the Lake Hylia Island.
Alright. We got flippers down the well. I missed the Cuckoo Hut.
And we learned that the green pendant is in Thieves Town.
Meanwhile, in the well, heart piece, bombs, and a bug net. The back of Sahasrala's hut was definitely another shield in 350 rupees. Missed the 3rd item, either being...
I think it was 10 sticks, and the chicken hut had a heart piece.
Okay.
We are getting a little closer to Zora money, and Zora is now in Logic, as well as the entirety of the waterfall area.
Well, except the waterfall. Right?
Well, we have flippers.
Oh, half magic in the dam.
Very nice early start here, and the nice thing about bows now being progressive courtesy of the new V31 logic is that there is another bow lying around, so if we were struggling to find that first bow, the other one might have popped out a little earlier. Or somewhere a little more, somewhere else, basically.
Yep, speaking of version 31, here's your link in chat for everybody listening to the changelog of version 31. Anything you wish to know and need to know will be located there. A lot of fun changes have come out with it. Of course, progressive bow being the biggest. To answer Math Girl, flippers were in the well.
Alright, Cassidy giving us a look at the desert ledge. I'm pretty sure that was a heart piece on the desert ledge. It was something red.
That sounds about right.
I'm just triple checking again on my phone playback. Actually, I stand corrected. It was a red shirt.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, potential very early red male.
Getting an Agena check for Cassidy. That's our first bottle.
Ooh, and Cassidy has not gone to Kakariko yet. That will be convenient as they will be able to route in Sick Kid.
Super worth it.
Yeah, the two items that always make the CAC route more convenient, a bottle and the flute.
Alright, so where's ETM off to next?
Looks like they're going to check out Eastern and Sahasrara, while Cassidy is going to give us our first look at Mini Moldorm Cave. Not the easiest to do with only bombs, but gets a lucky bomb drop there, as well as another pair.
Yeah, fun fact of note regarding version 31. The prize packs for enemies are now randomized, but that's a Moon Pearl, our second bow! Couple of rupees and a sword in the Mini Moldorm Cave.
Wow, so we have 6.5 minute silver arrows. And that's not something you're going to commonly see in V31, courtesy of the progressive bows, especially if the other bow happens to be in GT or someplace.
Yeah.
But that is a stacked Mini Moldorm Cave. Ovidius Naso, in the meanwhile, giving us our first look at the front of Escape. The first item was a heart piece. And
Alright.
You first.
I was just gonna say the same thing you were. It looks like ETM's gonna head right on into Eastern.
Yes, Cassidy, meanwhile, giving us our look at Ice Rod Cave. Not the most convenient check since we don't have flippers to route in Zora and whatnot, but gets another bottle with green goo out of Ice Rod Cave, so that is 2 known bottles already.
And I'm pretty sure they both had green goo.
Yes, they did. And the second item in the front of Escape was a map. So we're still looking for the key, the one item that we, the one non-item that I should say that is still out there is a key.
And a green ruby.
So that means there is one item left in the Escape actually, there's 3 items, excuse me, left in the Escape sequence, all of which are currently out of logic.
Yep, gonna need a glove for that. And technically a fire source.
Yeah, now we are starting to run a little low on checks. We have the flipper checks, and that's about it. After we check the rest of Eastern.
Yeah, I would place my bets that we'll find something, at least progression-wise, in Eastern.
Yeah, sorry, Derpy. The hints are turned off for this seed.
Oh. Oh well.
Sick
And our
Kid?
Sick Kid. Yep, go ahead.
What's he doing with fireworks?
Oh, you know, saving them for a rainy day. Or when he gets better.
Now, it will be curious to see what we find in the Zora area, because with nothing in, with logical progression not in Eastern, and nothing left besides the flipper checks, yeah, we're running out of checks, and we're not even sure where to go next, because we don't even have a fire source and a cape for Aga 1 or another sword upgrade, or the Dark World access pieces. We're still missing a hammer and a glove. Now, the one thing that would open up a good chunk of the light world right now would be the lamp or the flute, because that would give us a look inside Death Mountain. And it's just a map in the big key chest of Eastern Palace, which means that the Armos Knights do have an item.
Yep.
Answer question in chat. Moon Pearl was in Mini Moldorm Cave. Avidius Naso has just now picked it up. ETM elects to go pick up a health refill from the fairies in the vases. I'm just calling them the vases because they totally look like vases.
That's fair.
ETM manages to snipe the Igor in the dark. And Ovidius going to pick up their first bottle of green goo and realize I was just in Kakariko.
He might run off with it, who knows. It's the better play anyway. Leave the sick kid to suffer.
To answer question in chat, that double bow will count as silvers once our runners have picked up their first bows before that, because bows are now progressive. So for Cassidy, that did not count as... it did count as silvers. I stand corrected.
Yep. Cassidy and Ovidius both have silvers at the moment.
Ooh, we just found a glove at the bridge guy.
All right, our friendly man under the bridge.
So that's a pretty important one, because that opens up the back of Escape, and with a lamp will give us access to Death Mountain. There were only 10 sticks on the Armos Knights, as Edium draws first blood. Cassidy is going to give us our look at the Zora area. Is short by 170 rupees for Zora money.
And that's our
Ooh.
Titan's Mitt.
That is our Dark World access. So that is a Dark World bailout. And with the flippers, we can get to Eastern Dark World. And there is another sword on the Zora ledge.
All right. We'll take it.
Suddenly, we went from only a couple of checks left to having pretty much 90% of the world blown open to us, except the entirety of Death Mountain, pretty much.
Death Mountain, my area.
Yes.
Trying to think if there was really anything else. That's really it, for the most part.
Now, I am curious to know what our third pendant is, because with Hera and Thievestown being pendants, you don't need much to get through those two dungeons, which does leave options for the pedestal pretty wide open. But of course, that is dependent on our third pendant.
Yep.
Ralkin, meanwhile, and Etium for that matter, picking up their silver arrows and moon pearl from Mini Moldorm Cave. And their sword. Meanwhile, what does Cassidy give us for the back of Escape? We get a heart piece, a red rupee, and the small key. So there is an item in the Dark Cross, but it is out of logic without the lamp. Or actually, correct. Is there torches all the way down to the Dark Cross chest?
I believe so. I'd have to double check our version 31 guide real quick.
Because that is another change to the version 31 logic, is that the fire rod could be a logical light source if the room has torches.
You're not wrong, Math Girl. We don't have the fire rod, but if we did, it might put it in logic. Yes, Sewer's Dark Cross requires lamp or fire rod from both directions.
Excellent. Ovidius getting their massive rupee hoard from the back of Sahasrarla's closet, as well as their fire shield. And Cassidy has gone through the Dark Cross to check what's in there, and it is just a big 20.
Wow, Escape's a big letdown tonight.
It looks like it. Relkin is getting their Titan's Mitts and 50 rupees from the Waterfall Ferry. Now, Relkin is short 7 rupees. We shall see if they elect to farm those 7 rupees from the Zoras or the the crabs. An answer question in chat. Fast Ganon means that the crystal requirements to open GT and defeat Ganon may be different, and it also means the Pyramid of Power is wide open right off the bat. So it means that unless there are 3 swords in GT, which in this case there cannot be, there's pretty much no reason to go into Ganon's tower. So it is very likely that GT will be skipped. Meanwhile, Cassidy's giving us our first look at the Dark World. Elects to go to Skull Woods first. And Relkin is indeed attempting to farm the remaining rupees off of the River Zoras.
Alright.
Having a bit of trouble there, though. ETM going through the back of Escape to get their bad news.
Poor ETM.
I do find it interesting that both of our gloves were flippers locked.
It is interesting, for sure.
Ooh, Cassidy took a KO in there. Oh, that was I believe that was an intentional death warp. Never mind.
Yep.
Now, EDM is in a slightly better position for Waterfall for Zora once they get that. And Relkin did just grab a 5 off of the off of a River Zora, and we do get our map check. The last pendant is Ice Palace. I did miss what the other 5/6 crystal was, but I will take another look on my playback. Meanwhile, we get scammed from the king of all scams. Go figure.
Big ol' scam.
And as
chat. Go ahead.
You first.
I was just going to say, according to chat, Myers the other red crystal.
Yes, I did just confirm that in the playback, so thank you, chat. So yeah, Pendant Ice Palace. Which, interestingly, we only need, like, Bombos or Fire Rod and Hammer to be able to full clear. Plus Hookshot, potentially, and Cane, but that's dependent on if you can do the bomb jump. To answer a question in chat, the other 5/6 crystal was Desert Palace. And we get a vanilla key from the pinball room.
Yeah, that pinball room, of course, being another change of version 31, it is not a guaranteed small canny. A save and quit is logical.
An answer question chat, the third pendant is Tower of Hera. The pendants are Thieves' Town, Tower of Hera, and Ice Palace. Alright, ETM has just picked up their Titan's Mitts from the Waterfall Ferry. So let's see where we stand right now. We've already seen a couple full clears of Eastern, and we're getting a bumper ledge check, just a heart piece. So just seeing where we can go right now, we can check the first chest of Swamp Palace. We can't do anything with Ice Palace, although who wants to check Pendant Ice anyway? Especially with hints disabled, it's not exactly the most appealing play.
That is very true.
Ooh, we did just get our lamp, so that puts Eastern Palace Armos Knights into logic, as well as Death Mountain.
And that very useless, might I add, Dark Cross check.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, let's see where we stand right now. We can clear everything in Thieves Town except the big chest. We've already taken a look at the front of Skull Woods. Can't do anything with Meyer. We can get into Pod and do everything except Helmasaur King. Turtle Rock is out of the question for a long time. Ooh, there's our third bottle in the back of the brewery.
Wow.
Yeah, besides that, there is not much else we can check right now.
Oh, our single arrow was in the chest game. But we are getting a look at Pendant Thieves Town. 4 items in here, plus the green pendant.
Yeah, I would say it's probably not a bad idea to at least get the green pendant here, because there's anywhere between 4 and 5 items up for grabs, depending on if we find the hammer slash key locked in the big chest kerfuffle. Although
Yep.
we have found 2 items in a row. Or was that the big key in the second chest?
That was 2 pieces of heart.
It was 2 items, okay. Welkin picking up their lamp from the C-shaped house.
Oh, and
Ooh,
Quake Medallion.
that could be pretty useful later down the road. So we have 3 items in the front of Thieves Town. That makes the back of Thieves Town in particular a lot more of a gamble, because if there is an item in the big chest, that means there's only 1 item left through this whole trek through Thieves Town, and that is what's going to be on the green pendant.
Yep.
Relkin is opting to farm some extra cash through the archery game. Makes a lot of sense. He's short on money for Pod. And the other Village of Outcast, are actually, they've already done their Village of Outcast checks.
Well, most of them.
We're now going to get our first look at the dig game. Anywhere from 1 to 30 digs can net us an item here. And 20 digs gets us the Bombos medallion, so we're already 2 medallions down, and that is our entry into Ice Palace.
Yeah, should we choose to go that unfortunate route?
Of course.
And there's our final item there for Thieves Town, just a red rupee in the attic.
Cassidy elects not to save and quit. May end up deciding to go and fight blind anyway for the green pendant.
ETM finds a full heart container there in Skull Woods.
Relkin's going to give us our look at our South Dark World checks. On Stumpy, we have some extra explosives. Relkin has also elected to pick up the blacksmith as well, and taking the little fella on a world tour.
Definitely a good fun time for a walk.
Yeah, I don't mind the extra exercise, especially when I'm walking to the grocery store. And what's in our hype cave today? We have, first off, a heart piece, more sticks, another heart container, a red rupee, and 10 bombs. That, ladies and gentlemen, is garbage.
Oh.
That
That
is
hype cape was a tripe cave.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say 0 out of 10, and that's not something I say too often.
I'm gonna give it a -1.
Cassidy is giving us our blind fight, staying to the script very comfortably. And actually ends up cutting it pretty close there, but manages to win out over blind and gets the map. Well, granted, there's no items in Thieves Town left anyway, but more importantly, Cassidy is going to be rewarded with the green pendant. And Cassidy has not dipped Eastern yet, so when they go to Eastern, they will be able to cash that in.
He might still be waiting for a mirror and a hammer to go over.
Yes, to route in pod while they're at it.
Yep.
Although, all things considering, if you don't want to dip Ice Palace, it does seem like Pod or Death Mountain might be the plays.
Yep, and Rilken really going on the full tour of Hyrule. Up here to the Pyramid Ledge.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if Hammer was on the pyramid?
You know, I wouldn't put it past the game at this point.
Not this time, it's just a rupee horde. Cassidy's gonna dig 20 times for their Bombos medallion. It's always nice when you can get the item to bounce off a bush or a rock to just fall right on top of you.
Yep. Strategic planning.
We're also going to get a catfish check from Relkin. Ooh, Hammer could be in the pyramid.
That would be mean.
As Chad points out, yeah, because Pod and
Fire.
Pod is not a 5/6 crystal. Neither is Swamp or Ice Palace.
Yeah. Desert Mine.
And that is very interesting.
I don't want that to be the seed. Please.
We do just get a heart piece from the Grumpy Fish. But yeah, at this point, yeah, the only two areas we have to check at this point are Death Mountain and a little bit of Dark Death Mountain while we're at it, and Palace of Darkness. Although we still can't get to East Death Mountain yet, we're missing either Mirror Hammer or Hookshot.
And of course, Cassidy checking Hype Cave and being very highly disappointed.
Well, chat brings up a good point. We have not checked the Smith, for that matter, or the Purple Chest.
We're still working on that. Relkin's on it, don't worry.
Now, we will be seeing both of those chests, those checks in due time. One of them is a chest, to be fair.
Yeah. Alright, powder. Just so you can't you can't do anything till you get the hammer. Full heart.
Yep, just a heart container that time.
A little love for a long tour. Alright. And did EDM just no, he's short rupees for digging.
Yeah, is gonna have to go shoot some arrows.
Alright.
So while we're kind of on a sort of trace our steps period here, I would like to take a moment to shout out our runners this evening. We have Cassidy, ETM, Relkin, and Ovidius Naso on camera view. Off camera, we have a total of 23 entrants, so 19 other runners off camera tonight, giving folks a fantastic show. So go ahead and give all those folks a follow. And we also want to take a moment to shout out our trackers tonight, Math Girl 718 and Dawning Arc. So shout outs to you folks for your work tonight.
Thanks, you guys.
And also to my partner Poseidon. Poseidon Shadow, I should say, excuse me.
That's fine. Thanks for joining me, Captain.
Always a pleasure.
And of course, Relkin dipping Thieves Town and being a little bit of a quack.
Oh, Cassidy is giving us our first look at Palace of Darkness. Now, whether or not it's bow locked does not really matter in this case because bows were free, but it is not necessarily bow locked. Well, at least the front isn't. And Relkin has decided to take a KO and is noping out of Thieves Town without taking on Blind. Not shocked at this, quite frankly. Thieves Town is only a pendant and there's only one item in the back, which we know now is basically junk.
Speaking of Relkin, I don't think he picked up his silver arrows, did he?
Doesn't look like it, actually. And the silver arrows, the other bow was in Mini Moldorm Cave.
So, which would mean
He might not have had a bomb when he checked the back of Kakariko Well. That's where the other bow was, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Fascinating.
Oh no, he does have a master sword, just no silvers.
It is also possible Rel can turn them off, as chat points out, to reduce lag.
Nah.
We'll know if he we'll know when he pauses if there is a Y button indicator over the bow, because that means you can switch out the arrows. Which he's gonna have to do in a second to check Agina.
Yep.
Nothing too spectacular in Pod so far besides a compass and keys.
Yeah, and it is supposed to have, what, 5 items in it? So
5 items. And I blinked and I missed if Relkin had silvers.
Yep, I looked away too.
I'll check my playback. Oh, Dawning Arc, our tracker confirms that there is he does have silver arrows. He just had them turned off.
Okay.
And oh wait, that's Cassidy. Never mind, wrong stream. That's the penalty of looking through 4 screens at once, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. The only reason I questioned it was because Relkin only had 1 sword marked, and I was like, bow with sword, right?
Yeah, there was a sword with the mini Moldorm bow.
Yeah. I was like, did he just not do mini Moldorm? But he must have, so.
Relkin is going to dip Pendant Ice Palace with the Bombos Medallion.
Oh, this hurts my soul.
This is a very interesting play. Now, in fairness, I have seen an Ice Palace care package one time where it had, I think, it was a Bombos Medallion, Master Sword, and I don't remember what the third item was, but it was required. Still nothing spectacular in Pod yet, though. Meanwhile, Ovidius taking the long way around to the Skullwood's big chest.
Yeah. And it's a key.
First item in Ice Palace is just a heart piece. Yeah, I am kind of surprised Relkin chose not to go to Palace of Darkness over the over Ice Palace, with the more item dense location being Palace of Darkness. Instead, electing to do hammerless Bombos Pendant Ice, but we do get the magic mirror in the bottom in the basement of Palace of Darkness.
All right, well, at least there's that. So Cassidy will go right to Eastern after this.
This now puts the first chest of Swamp Palace and the Tower of Hera into logic. Unfortunately, Tower of Hera is also a pendant.
Yep.
In fact, all things considered, and also Relkin can't even beat Cold Stare without the hammer. Can't get there.
Yep.
Just thought of that.
So really, he's just wanting to check whatever items he can get to in here.
In fairness, if there is something in Ice Palace, then this ends up being quite the big brain play. But that's the thing, there has to be something in here first.
Yeah,
And Cassidy's just going to go right ahead and mirror out and check Eastern. So, besides the mirror, not anything particular in Palace of Darkness, although I think Helmasaur has an item.
yes. Do believe so.
So yeah, still a little bit strained on checks. The seed has kind of bottlenecked a little bit. The big find for Relkin, if there is something in Ice Palace, would be the hammer at this point, but instead it's the single arrow of destiny.
The real question is, what's Cassidy gonna get off of that green pendant?
That is an excellent question.
I almost feel like that might actually be our progression, and if it is, it might come back to hurt a little bit for some people.
Indeed. So yeah, actually, with only the hammer, and depending on key logic, the Cane of Samaria, we already may be having pedestal and logic here. And that's never something the runners want to see at this particular point.
I mean, we are only 36 minutes in, but still. When you're running low on checks that fast, it doesn't feel too good.
Nah, not to mention most of the checks are in pendant dungeons. That is now 3 runners that have checked that hint so far tonight.
I think we're gonna have to ask them about that.
Etium, meanwhile, picking up their mirror. So we are getting confirmation that Ice Palace is hookshot locked because of the map in that iced tea room.
Right? Though honestly, I think they're probably checking that hint in Eastern Palace just to make sure that hints are off. We have had everyone assuming that they're off for the most part since version 31, but there have been a few seeds that they've been on for.
Yeah, and that's one of the easiest ones to check.
Yeah, you're going through there anyway.
So at this point, literally all we have left is the first chest and swamp of the Tower of Hera. And the 2 Death Mountain checks on the west side. Oh boy. I cannot wait to decipher the logic chain required for stuff this seed.
It'll all become clear shortly.
I remember the first seed I commentated back in late July had like a 6 or 7 item chain for the bow, which was on Pyramid Fairy.
Oof. Oh yeah, chat pointing out that we do have the Graveyard Ledge and K45 in Logic.
Very true, very true. Although both kind of out of the way right now, especially since most of our runners have already checked Stumpy. And in some cases done the Smith sequence.
Yeah, don't have boots, so they'll probably wait on the Graveyard Ledge till they can do Bonk Rocks.
Alright, Cassidy picking up their first crystal. Now the next major $1 million question is, what is on that green pendant? Meanwhile, we get a shroom on Spectacle Rock. And we found Brian's cane in the back of Spectacle Rock. Brian, if you could make your way up to Death Mountain and to the Tower of Hera Lost and Found, we found your cane.
We've also apparently found a mushroom?
Yeah, that was on top of Spectacle Rock.
Ah.
And our green pendant gets us just a big 20, which means Relkin also just figuring out the bad news.
He's like, I would have left this stupid cane if I knew hits were off.
Well, to be fair, that is currently our only logical method of getting through Spike Cave.
Yep.
Once we pick up the hammer. And yeah, so Pendant Ice has nothing yet, depending on what Cold Stare has. Thieves Town only had the Quake Medallion, which is going to be entirely dependent on if Maya or Turtle Rock need that. And we are about to get our good look at Tower of Hera probably in the next 3 or 4 minutes. Yeah, Relkin chose not to go to Palace of Darkness before doing Death Mountain, so not gonna exactly have the most efficient route through this, unfortunately.
And Relkin with their bottle.
So, taking a quick look, now that we have our pendant layouts and Ice Palace item layout and all that jazz, let's take a look at what could be on pedestal. I don't know if there's a key on Cold Stare, so Kane's 50-50, I think, right now.
Ice Rod.
Both rods.
Yeah, since we
Not
have
hammer.
both rods.
The Ether Medallion, if it's... well, the Ether Medallion could still be there, but it might be required if it's needed for Maya or Turtle Rock. The boots could be there.
Powder,
Hookshot
shovel.
Hookshot actually can't be there, never mind. Yeah, powder, shovel, the flute could be there. There are plenty of candidates wide open for the pedestal right now. Ooh, and Moldorm is not fire-locked. Not that it matters, since everybody has their lamp anyway, but...
Yep.
To answer a question in chat, it was confirmed that Ice Palace is hookshot locked because of key logic, and Mirror is in the basement of Pod. So neither of those can be on the pedestal. But yeah, still lots of candidates and not many other places to check. And like I said, Hera's all that we've got left right now, and the Graveyard Ledge K45 checks.
Yep. Sadly, with that early boss key there in the Tower of Hera, I don't think we'll see anyone go for the lovely Hera pot glitch, as it's called now.
Yeah, I did. Oh no, I'm thinking the purple chest glitch. Never mind, that's a different glitch.
Yeah,
I'm actually not familiar with that one.
I think they actually still need a hook shot for that. I'm not certain. Basically, in the bottom of the Tower of Hera, there, you know those pots.
Oh, you mean the coffee break strategy?
Not technically. So next to your door at the top of your entrance there's the 2 pots on either side.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, ETM showing that the 2 that are lined up next to the big chest. In the bottom level, you can actually set up a bomb clip into the pot, which will then allow you to hit a warp tile to send you to the top of the tower. Of course, you end up leaving behind items, but it allows you, say, if you know that the boss key's fire locked down there and you don't have a fire source, it'll allow you to ascend the tower.
Fascinating.
Counted as a minor glitch, and I believe they are allowing it for now.
That's very nice, but we do get confirmation that there is an item in the Hera basement. Moldorm only had a compass, and we've seen the map.
Leave the poor worm alone.
But Cassidy now has 2 pendants, so the next $1 million question is, if there's nothing in Hera basement, where does Cassidy go next? they rather, is probably going to contemplate that as they take their coffee break.
Yeah. Raise your glass, chat. Take a sip. It's time for a coffee break.
In fact, with all that's been going on, I haven't had a time to sip my drink. Ooh, chat makes a good point. We did not see the mushroom turn in yet.
To be fair, we just got it.
Indeed, and it is a little out of the way right now without the flute, and the fact that we pretty much cleared all of northeastern Dark World.
Yeah, so K45, Graveyard Ledge, and Mushroom check or what's left, and that's just a heart container.
Ooh, that is, yeah, again, we're just getting really, really bottlenecked this seed.
It's
And
a
we
healthy
can't...
seed.
True. A very safe seed as well, and with that, actually, no, we still need either flute or book to get the red mail on Desert Ledge. But yeah, absolutely nothing in Pent and Hera. This is definitely going to be one to ask the runners about.
Alright, so of our 3 checks that we have left, what are we gonna see? Hookshot, flute, or hammer?
I think the one thing the runners the one that's going to give the most access is going to be hammer, because that allows us to full clear pod. It allows us to get to cold stare and ice. It allows us to get to Dark Death Mountain and East Death Mountain.
ETM coming for the mushroom.
At the same time, the hookshot will also allow us to full clear swamp, or to allow us to get to Argus, but we still need the hammer for that too. So, yeah, the one the runners want to see is the hammer. The thing I think they actually don't want to see right now is the hookshot.
Hookshot!
On the subject of the hookshot. Oh, that is actually, like I said, that is not what the runners want to see right now, because yeah, that's not going to do much for Swamp. We still need the hammer. But
and
we do...
chat demanding to burn the witch.
Well, unfortunately... Well, thankfully, I picked up my fire shield in Sahasra's closet, so we're good to go. But yeah, now we can check East and Dark Death Mountain, which means we can also check the Turtle Rock Medallion. We could check Spike Cave, thanks to Cane of Burna. We could check Paradox Cave. There is a lot. It actually did give us probably equally as many, as much freedom in the seed as the hammer would have.
Yep, and of course, if we see that hammer, that means Ice Palace will be clearable.
Yeah, but thankfully also Pod and Swamp. So, still plenty of alternative options.
Yeah, but that gives us our final piece of the pedestal logic, which is a
It
bad
does.
thing.
In Paradox Cave, we start with a pair of big 20s.
Oh, it's a book in 45.
Ooh. Well, now we can at least read what's on the pedestal. It also is our access to Desert Palace. Meanwhile, in the back of Paradox Cave, we get another swingy, 2 major rupee hordes,
600 rupees, and 10 arrows and harpies.
So, only thing worth of Paradox Cave was Tempered Sword, and with Tempered Sword Silver Arrows, that is going to make Ganon pretty much free. Oh no, Cassidy lost the purple chest, although I don't think the purple chest had anything too significant in it, but even still.
Actually, I think Cassidy is going to be our first one for the purple check, right? I don't know.
I thought Relkin took it earlier.
Chat's saying it's a 20. No, Relkin just gave us the Smith. He never did purple chest.
Yeah. Somebody did give us purple chest, but it was a big 20 as chat. It is apparently a big 20 as chat mentions.
Alright, that'll work.
Cassidy might show us that purple chest glitch I had mentioned earlier, but we shall see. Actually, I don't think it's possible, because no boots. Because, yeah, the way I understand it works is that you use the boots to ditch the chest at the right time. I'm not 100% familiar with it at this point, unfortunately.
Gotcha.
And we missed it, but chat confirms that it was a pair of big 20s in Super Bunny Cave. We're going to get a look at Hookshot Cave now. And Turtle Rock requires Quake. Pendant Thieves Town is required.
Ooh. Scary. Another big 20 in the Hookshot Cave. The Bloomerang. Some bombs. And another big 20.
Wow, so East and Darth Death Mountain had only a sword. That's it.
Did we get a check of the floating island yet? Nope, we're about to.
Ooh, we're also getting a look at the Bombos
Sword!
tablet.
Butter sword!
Oh, we are also going to get a look at Spiral Cave, thanks to the long walk of shame that ETM will demonstrate. But that's all of our swords, although, unless our runners are not at Tempered yet, I don't think they're going to go out of their way to pick that up. The damage increase from Tempered to Butter is not nearly as significant as Master to Tempered.
Yeah, for the most part, the game just doesn't expect you to have a butter sword. But that is a flute in the Spiral Cave!
That's another big one, because now we can check the mire area.
Alright, pedestal possibilities are quickly dwindling.
Yeah, we can still see both rods, Cane, and Ether Medallion. That's about it. And the boots.
Yeah, Cassidy, of course, was giving us a check of desert. Saw 50 rupees in there. I don't know what else he saw.
Although we're not going to be able to see anything else, because that means that it is boots locked.
Yep.
So we do have boots required this seed, which again could also be on pedestal. Alright, Cassidy, where to next? Oh, get your 07s in chat in the meanwhile. ETM is releasing the swag duck.
The goose is loose, the duck's amuck. All hail the magic quail. What you got for us, chat?
So yeah, Flute was in Spiral Cave. So yeah, that's a really long walk to pick up your mire access.
That it is.
And that's after having to get the Mirror and Palace of Darkness and then the hook shot on the mushroom on top of Spectacle.
ETM jumped off the ledge and forgot that he was floating there to go into the mire area.
Oops. Oh, it's Ether for Mire.
Ooh, speculations continue.
At least I think it was Ether.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw Ether.
My comm stream is a little fuzzy tonight for some reason, so might miss a couple things. Oh, there's the hammer in the mire shed. That pretty much blew the seed wide open there. Because we can now full clear swamp, pod, ice, desert. Yeah, we can clear four things now.
That we can, and chat says the ped list continues.
Yeah, there's a small key on the torch, so yeah, definitely boots locked. So yeah, Dawning Arc, our tracker, has taken the liberty of kind of pinning down the logic chain. So it is the Mirror and Pod to the Mushroom on Spectacle Rock to the hook shot in on the Mushroom and to Spiral Cave, which has the flute, to Mire Shed, which has the hammer. So that is a 5-item chain.
Yep. Well, flippers to both gloves to pod mirror, mushroom, hook shot, spiral cave.
Yeah, the flippers
the
and
flute to get the hammer, but
and the gloves were free, though. To be fair.
yeah, it's just a long chain.
Yeah, very much indeed. Checkerboard Cave was only a heart piece.
And Ovidius coming up to the Scamfish.
Yeah, not going to be the thing they want to see at this point.
And Etium with his third bottle.
So yeah, Pod was a required double dip. And the Mountain was a double or triple dip as well. Because yeah, going up the mountain to get the mushroom, then he had to go back down to get the hook shot, go through with the hook shot to get the flute, and it's going to be another dip later to get to Turtle Rock. So yeah, that is a triple dip of the Death Mountain.
What if there's something on either tablet?
Oh, it's not access, and it's not something we need for TR.
Yep.
Oh boy. Edium, meanwhile, is going to give us our Swamp Palace play, now full clearable courtesy of the hammer and hookshot and mirror. And this makes a lot of sense. There are 6 items in Swamp Palace. One of the most item-dense dungeons, in fact, next to GT.
Yeah. I don't think GT really counts, but we'll give it to GT, I guess.
Well, yeah, GT, in fairness, no one's going to GT today, not with the fast Ganon setting today.
Yeah, and especially with all 4 swords being outside of the tower.
And fully in logic while we're at it, too.
Yeah.
An answer question in chat, the hammer was... the hookshot was on the mushroom, which was in Spectacle Rock, which you needed the mirror from Basement of Pod to get. And the hammer was in the Mire Shed, which the flute was in Spiral Cave.
So a very nasty, long logic chain. It just feels good hearing all of those chest opening noises.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you add in a heart refill from getting a heart piece, the 4th heart piece.
And then 300 rupees.
To answer question chat, Pedestal is in logic right now. We have the hook shot and the hammer, so we can now get to Cold Stare.
Plus we have Bomba, so we can unfreeze Cold Stare.
Ooh, there's our ice rod in the bottom of Swamp Palace.
Alright.
It looks like we didn't get the big key yet, and Etium elects to go left side swamp. This makes a lot of sense right now, actually, because we've only seen... Was it 2 items in swamp or 1? I actually lost count.
I wasn't counting. I know we saw 1.
Yeah, I think it was actually just 1 item, and that is that ice rod. Relkin, meanwhile, has defeated Moldorm and will be going to the Hera basement. Unfortunately, yeah, Tower of Hera was a total bust this seed.
And less heads required, but...
Of course.
It's the one thing the runners don't hope for, it's the one thing chat does hope for.
And Ovidius just picked up their flute out of Spiral Cave.
Alright, Cassidy, do you want the butter?
Guess not.
That's alright.
So yeah, we are still missing a Fire Rod, the boots, the Ether Medallion, and the Cane of Somaria for Go Mode, all 4 of which can still be on the pedestal.
Chat pointing out that Cassidy also didn't go to check the ether tablet.
That's pretty interesting. Oh boy. Anybody want to do another fetch quest? Because we got a shovel in left side swamp.
Ooh.
That's not something our runners want to see yet.
Well, chat points out that might bring ETM closer to getting the book.
That is true, because the book was in K45. It was K45, right? I'm not crazy?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I can have some short-term brain hiccups sometimes.
Happens to all of them.
Oh, Cassidy may be going around. It seems to have gone up and around again to go back to Dark Death Mountain. And yeah, it's pulling out the mirror. Yeah, Cassidy's going to go check Ether Tablet real quick.
Yep. Speaking of, though, Donning Hark, one of our lovely trackers pointing out what we're all thinking of. Do you want to do a fetch quest?
A one-off check for just one thing. Just a heart piece and a red rupee in the back of Swamp Palace, which means I believe there is an item on Argus.
20 rupees on the ether tablet. How many more of those do we have in the item pool
I
that we
don't
can
know.
still see?
But hey ho, we just got the Cane of Somaria in the waterfall chest of Swamp Palace.
All
Which
right.
means Misery Mire is not even accessible right now because we're still missing Ether. So that cane only opens up the first chest of Turtle Rock as far as we know. Now, we can now get into Turtle Rock. It is entirely possible that the Fire Rod is on Laser Bridge. If the key logic is set correctly.
Yep. Of course, that also gives us a little bit of a quality of life in Ice Palace too, depending on how you want to route it. But
And if there's a key on Cold Stare, then, which I don't think there is at this point, then it's required to be Cold Stare by the logic. Meanwhile, Edium is having no issue slashing Argus, and the reward is more sticks. So Swamp Palace was definitely the play, giving us Cane of Samaria and Ice Rod, both required.
yeah, Etium now having his second crystal, putting him ahead of the other the other three runners for the moment. Not necessarily a lead per se, just more so ahead in just terms of dungeon count. But if it's
Indeed.
pet required, he's got 3 more dungeons to dip.
Yeah, as chat points out, we're only 2 crystals cleared at 1 hour in. Actually, no, 1 crystal cleared at 2 hours in. 2 crystals, I take it back, Swamp.
Yep, Swamp. However, that first crystal was only 12 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. It has been like 50 minutes since we've last had a crystal clear between those two. And to answer question chat, yes, Helmasaur King is holding onto an item.
ETM will go ahead and do a dig.
Now, is this going to be a worthy fetch quest?
Instincts
Answer.
say no. Nope.
Not this time. I've seen a vanilla... I think many of us have seen the clip of Shovel on pedestal followed by Flute in the vanilla dig spot. I remember that clip. That was something else.
I believe I have seen that.
Relkin is also going to start heading into desert and quickly get rejected by the fact that its boot's locked. Cassidy, meanwhile, making the very necessary play into Swamp Palace. Now, to be fair, left side Swamp was avoidable, but unfortunately, you pretty much have to go to Swamp before you can do anything else like Turtle Rock and stuff, so... I can't imagine the majority of the remaining runners are going to skip left side swamp at this point.
And another big 20 on the other tablet.
Ay, ay, ay. I'm pretty sure we're down to only 5 big 20s or less at this point.
It's gotta be like 2 or 3.
But yeah, let's take another look at where we stand. There's an item on Helmasaur King, and I think there's an item on Cold Stare. So we have those 2 items. We can technically open the Turtle Rock front door and, depending on key layout, go all the way to Laser Bridge. And if Fire Rod happens to be on Laser Bridge, then we can go ahead and kill Trinex. We've already checked Skull Woods. Desert is boots locked. Harrow was garbage. Thieves Town had Quake, which was required. Yeah, we've been getting a lot of, like, one thing leading to another type checks so far this seed.
Math Girl pointing out 2 chests are still left in Ice
Oh.
Palace. But I'm pretty sure...
Sorry, my Ice Palace chest count's not always the best, unfortunately.
I think we only saw 1 item in there, though.
I know we saw at least 1 item. I can't remember if we saw 2.
There are only 3, though.
Oh, that is true. We did miss. We did not see the big chest.
Ooh, 4 in Ice Palace.
So yeah, there could very well still be progression hiding in Ice Palace at this point.
Single arrow.
Yeah, I remember the single arrow. I don't remember what else was in there. We can thankfully contemplate this a little, because E-Team's just making their way to Helmasaur King while everybody else is running through Swamp Palace. And I blinked for a second. Did Cassidy go to left side swamp?
They had just picked up the ice rock. Last I had seen.
Yeah, and that's definitely not the path. Yeah, I think Cassidy's skipping left side swamp. Which, granted, we know that's definitely the right call for now.
He'll go back. But yeah, while everyone else is diving around in the swamp, ETM will go and finish up Helmasaur King. There's Arcane for Cassidy.
So yeah, we're just gonna whack Helmasaur King's helmet 17 times. And then 2 tempered spin slashes. Or 4 regular slashes, whichever combination you'd like, and down goes the Helma Kitty.
Dino Kitty. I believe that's what Chad likes to call it.
Oh, there was the
Fire
fire
rod.
rod. Pod, well, it was already a required double dip from the beginning, but that is a big one.
Ooh.
That
So
means
we're missing boots and a bolt coin.
Yeah, and unfortunately, those could pretty much be anywhere at this point, besides inside Misery Mire. Or Desert Palace.
Well, Meyer could have the boots, but...
Very true. But yeah, with Fire Rod, we can now defeat Mothula. We can now complete Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I think ETM's gonna come to Skull Woods, kill Mothula, and check Pedestal since he's got a book.
I would absolutely love to see that.
I think chat would all be in favor of it as well.
Ooh, chat makes a good point. Boots can also still be on Pyramid Fairy.
Oh, but what fun is that? Nothing's more fun than Oops All Dungeons.
Absolutely. The best breakfast cereal.
Actually, yeah, Boots can't be on Pyramid Fairy because Desert Palace is Boots Lock.
That's right.
But the bolt coin can still be there.
No, the bowl coin
Oh, wait,
can't be on Pyramid Fairy.
I'm
It's
being
Meet
dumb
the
now.
Liar. So yeah, Pyramid Fairy is pretty much dead at this point. There can literally be nothing there that would be useful at this point, because we know where Red Mail is, we already have Silver Arrows, and Half Magic. So, yep, Pyramid Fairy is pretty much dead.
There could be a cape.
There could be. Wouldn't help me. It wouldn't be that helpful at this point, but there could be.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And Etium is just blazing through Skull Woods, quite literally.
Yeah, I believe he did the front checks earlier, so he knows he got at least one of his 2 items. I know that much.
I'm pretty sure most, if not all, of our runners have checked the front of Skull Woods by this point.
Yep.
Unless I'm having another brain hiccup.
I know at least 3 of them checked it.
Ooh, there happened to be a little gap in the spikes that Etium took advantage of to get a couple slashes on Mothula, and down he goes.
And
All for just
blue
a blue
ruby.
bee.
Well, that's our second item, so no point of going through the rest of the dungeon.
So yeah, no need to Skull Woods. You could have just zipped through if you had the chance.
Alright, chat. Get your bless RNGs in chat for a pedestal.
Yes, indeed. Etium is pulling out the mirror.
And the book.
The answer is...
Couch
just
cash.
couch cash. So...
Will
unfortunately,
anyone
Pet is
blind
dead.
pull it, though?
I don't think so. Because I think once Cassidy gets Fire Rod, they're going to do the same thing. But with that, seems like the next stop, and it looks like Etium's already reading my mind on this one, is Turtle Rock. It's full clearable, it's a crystal, why not? Everything we need could be on Laser Bridge.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it is the only other valid play, since the 5-6 crystal dungeons are both locked out of items, so...
But yeah, so all that logic the logic chain we were talking about earlier for the hammer, now the Fire Rod gets added to that logic chain, and the cane, and the Ice Rod for that matter. And if something's on Laser Bridge, that's just another item in the logic chain, so that's like an 8-item chain right now we're looking at here.
It's all for the boots. For Bonk Rock's Ether.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Yes, chat. Very linear, but very, very mean.
Yeah, as mentioned before, we had to do a triple dip up Death Mountain.
Is this our 3rd or 4th dip for Etium?
I'm not sure. I want to say it's 4, but I'm not honestly 100% sure.
And Avidius finding 20 rupees on that tablet.
And a heart container in the chest, so yeah, Turtle Rock or Laser Bridge was fire locked. Or Fire Rod locked specifically, I should say.
Yeah, 1 item down, 4 to go for Turtle Rock.
Oh boy, they'd even be on Trinex.
Yep. Cassidy's gonna join us, though.
In fact, Boots on Trinex, that was actually another, that was also another thing that happened in the commentary in July I was talking about before. The boots were on Trinex. There were like 3 unique items in Turtle Rock.
That
And
must
hints.
have been
You first.
Oh, go ahead. I was just saying that must have been annoying.
And the funny thing is, there were hints for 2 of them.
Oh.
And one of them was the guaranteed boots hint, which showed up twice.
So, what was it like? Unique item is in Turtle Rock, and then boots are in Turtle Rock?
It was initially a unique item, followed by 2 boots and Turtle Rock hints.
Okay.
And the first boots hint we learned about was Ice Palace. An answer question in chat: Spike Cave was not checked yet.
Quintuple dip of Death Mountain.
Oh, brilliant. That would be evil if Ether is in Spike Cave, because we could have gotten that so much earlier.
It would just be the worst thing.
And yeah, fake powder wasn't even possible because the cane was hammer locked. And we haven't even seen the powder for that matter.
Well, you couldn't even fake powder because your mushroom's gone.
That's right, the
You
mushroom
turned it
was
in for
part
the
of
hook shot.
To get the cane.
Jet says, wait, what if boots are powder locked? I like this.
If we do find powder on Laser Bridge, that is going to be just something else. I mean, this seed is already something else, but even still. Ooh, ETM has just taken a KO to the Pokies.
Give us powder on Trinex. For some boots. For Bonk Rocks, Ether Medallion.
Or better yet, have Ether be on Lanmolus. And check the Bonk Rocks and stuff first.
Yeah. Anything of the sort.
Ovidius now picking up their Fire Rod. Oh, the boots could still be in Ice Palace, too. Math Girl, our tracker, giving us a very good point. Oh, that would just... There are so many just rude possibilities for where the boots and Ether Medallion could be. Because literally they could be anywhere besides Desert, Mire, and Pyramid Fairy.
And we know that one of our admins is probably looking at a spoiler log and smiling devilishly.
If not already laughing out loud.
Sipping a cup of tea. Twisting their evil mustache.
Oh, never mind. There's our boots.
Alright.
Oh, the boots were in Mimic Cave. Well, that's a bad spot for those.
But ATM's gonna get them too.
Oh!
And they're Aww.
So at 1 hour, 18 minutes, Cassidy has entered Go mode.
Darn. Go mode. Our only weakness.
And ETM will be just a couple of minutes, about a minute behind. Not even. 20 seconds later, ETM has entered Go mode. So at this point, it's just a mad dash, quite literally, to Desert and Mire, and then we can just go straight to the Pyramid.
Well, Cassidy still has to do Skull Woods.
Ooh.
But for ETM, mad dash.
Yeah, that's, ETM definitely has the upper hand right now. And they're both equally equipped as far as health, mail, arrow upgrades, swords. Yeah, it's gonna come down to execution, but I would definitely say ETM has the upper hand based on one extra dungeon clear.
Yep. Also didn't finish off Thieves Town, so.
Very true. So just confirming, literally the only pendant required dip was for Quake in Thieves Town. That was it.
Yep.
Oh, I missed the first laser bridge check. I'll have to look back on that real quick. Ooh, Cassidy had to burn their blue goo.
Idiom will give it to us in a second anyway.
Oh, very true.
50
Just,
rupees.
Oh, there's the last mandatory small key. And Cassidy just decides, nope. Oh, well, actually, that's all he really needed. So, yep, Cassidy and E.T. and Bolt decide, nope, time to go to Trinex in nearly complete synchronization.
Yep. Ooh.
In fact, now it's practically complete synchronization.
I have to give it to Etium for that one. That was slick.
Yeah, did a boots dash with, did an item dash with the cane, and yeah, there is one nice convenient line of tiles where if you do that, you can get through both blocks as the switches are being pressed. Cassidy and Etium both very quickly making short work of the ice and fire heads, although Etium seems to have had a little less trouble.
A little less lag.
And down goes Trinex for Etium. Oh, Cassidy's only got one heart also.
Ooh.
Don't scare us like that.
Life.
Ooh, but we do get a vanilla heart, and that is the Sanctuary heart container. So talk about an extra health bailout for Cassidy, even though they get fully healed by the crystal anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, because we have not seen any fairies yet this seed, so that would have been a very long walk if Cassidy took a death there, as Chad points out. Yeah, luckily we don't have to dip GT, so a quad dip of GT is thankfully not required this seed.
Yep.
And ETM elects to do Misery Mire first, and Vitreous is going to be pretty much free courtesy of the Silver Arrows.
Bird toss?
Maybe. It's in a perfect spot.
Come on, Etium. You have to do it.
Given this seed, yeet!
Bird toss! Alright. We didn't have a ped, but we had a bird toss. I think that's fair.
Now the next $1 million question is, will we get a God Mire here?
Signs point to yes.
And if we do get a God Mire, will either of our Cassidy or ETM hover straight to the other bridge?
Answer unclear. Ask again later.
Well, it's not a God Mire anyway. Well, it's a kind of God Mire, maybe. Never mind, it's not a God Mire.
Alright. Well, we tried. To answer chat of how is 7-7 fast Ganon, well, we're at 1 hour and 23 and we've got 2 dungeons left.
Yeah, if anything, we do save like 6 minutes or so for not having to climb GT and kill Aga 2.
Yep.
So yeah, just to, as we're cleaning up the last couple of dungeons here, just to give everybody that might just be coming in a brief sort of update on where we stand. So how we got here was after we got Dark World access and flippers in the early checks, we had to go to Palace of Darkness to get the mirror in the basement, to go to Spectacle Rock, which had the mushroom, and the lamp was also in early in the C-shaped hut, by the way, as well. So we had to get, Lamped Sea Hut, Mirror and Pod, to Mushroom on Spectacle Rock, which led to the Hook Shot, which led to the Flute in Spiral Cave, which was required to get to the Mire Shed, which had the Hammer, which led to the Fire Rod on Helmasaur King, which, and meanwhile, Ice Rod and Cane of Samaria were in Swamp Palace.
Which then led us to Turtle Rock to finally get our boots to clear Desert Palace and the Ether Medallion to enter Mire.
So yeah, that's where we stand, and that's why this seed is now nearing the 90-minute mark, and we still haven't gotten our last crystal yet.
But it's fast Ganon, so we don't have to go up the mountain again. We don't have to go through the tower. We just go to the Pyramid of Power, fall in the hole, and slay the big pig.
Also, pretty much everybody, all of our runners forgot that hints were turned off this seed. Because I think everybody except Relkin checked the Eastern Palace hint, and then Relkin checked the hint in Spectacle Rock. And that led to a little bit of comedy. Ooh, ETM giving us some spooky action here.
Spooky. It's not quite the month for it, but I'll accept it.
I still don't understand how that glitch works.
Old video games.
I can accept that. And as mentioned, with silver arrows and, with silver arrows, this fight is completely free. I say that, and ETM's down to 1 heart.
Ooh.
You two really need to stop scaring us like this.
It's fun. They just wanted to play a little Space Invaders.
That's not how Space Invader... Never mind. Relkin, meanwhile, delivers a lovely single arrow skewer to the face for Argus, and takes down... gets their 4th crystal.
Meanwhile, finally gets to go fast.
Meanwhile, it is a race to Desert Palace here. This is looking very close. It is purely down to execution at this point. Oh, right. I keep forgetting Cassidy has to do Skull Woods.
Yep.
I just got befuddled by the sink.
It's nice. That's for sure. We can still pretend they're racing to Ganon.
We could, although a death to Ganon on ETM's side would be a bit of a really significant time loss, and they don't, I don't think they're going to pick up the red mail.
Oh, probably not. I don't think Cassidy will either.
Nah, they're both skipping the red mail. Oh boy. Yeah, 13 heart blue mail Ganon's not too bad. You have Tempered Sword Silvers, but even still.
Alright, good old cutscenes.
And down goes Landmolus for both of our runners. And ETM has now picked up all 7 crystals, so it is now time for the big... Oh, wait, we don't do that this seed.
Tricked you, chat.
Sorry, folks. But it is now time for the fight with the big pig. Yeah, the only minor downside about Fast Ganon is that you do kind of have to walk a little bit to get to the pyramid, unless you kill Daigo 1, in which case you can flute to Link's house and then just go that way.
Yeah. But it's alright, we have boots, we can run, it's not that bad anymore.
So at this point, it's just 28 slashes followed by 4 skewers to Ganon's face, and that's it.
And speaking of the boots, ETM showing us how to go just a little bit faster up all those stairs.
And Ganon asks Cedium to not stand close to him. Back off, buddy.
Personal space.
I do personally like the information that Ganon gives us from the Agatha School of the Insect Kingdom. When he talks about the one where he talks about the species of insects.
I don't think I've quite caught that one.
Yeah, I always call that the Agatha student hint.
That's fair. You always have to thank our devs for the small things they put in here, from
Absolutely.
jokes to funny hints.
I always love some good flavor text. In the meantime, ETM is now... Oh no, the silvers are... Ooh, that's new.
Yep, in version 31, if you have silver arrows, instead of asking if you found the silver arrows in X place, Ganon goes, "Oh no, silver's my one true weakness!"
Yes, and with 2 silver arrows already, this is looking to be a pretty close, pretty quick finish here, as Cassidy has picked up their 7th crystal, is now on the way to the Big Pig. But ETM has landed the final skewer to Ganon. Get your GGs in chat for ETM.
All he has to do is cross Hyrule's most dangerous 1x3 bridge, and his journey will be complete. And he's done it!
And in doing so, ETM finishes in first place among the Restream, 6th place of our off-stream runners tonight with a SRL time of 1:33.12. Our first place runner tonight was Matt7898, who finished with a time of 1:25.49. Our other runners, placers, Goomba90, 2nd place, 1:27.43. Gamachu, 3rd place, 1:27.48. Dracaris, 4th place, 1:28.46. And Zelga D-san, 5th place, 1:32.43. So GG to our runners tonight.
Yep, and now, of course, Cassidy joins us in slaying the Big Pig. In just a minute, he shall finish up as well. Ovidius giving us our run through Mire, Relkin going up through Turtle Rock. And Cassidy's already down to 1 heart.
And Cassidy has already burnt their blue goo from way earlier in the seed.
Have to imagine he's playing a very cautious game.
Absolutely. A death to Ganon now would be a disaster.
1 silver. 2 and 3.
Ooh, nice. Managed to get 3 silver arrows in that one cycle.
And the final silver arrow. Down goes the big pig.
And with that, Cassidy will cross the finish line in 9th place with a SRL time of 1:35.19. Before her, we had Aussie 101 with a time of 1:34.17 and Koi with a time of 1:34.59.
Hopefully we can get maybe both ETM and Cassidy to join us for a interview here shortly.
Meanwhile, we have Relkin just taking down Trinex, and we are now joined by Etium, GGTU.
Hey, GG's.
So, how'd you like that long logic train there, ETM?
Yeah, it was a very linear seed. It was not really much opportunity to make gambles or anything. I kind of find these seeds not that exciting. I mean, they're exciting from like the standpoint of execution is important and so on, but I don't know. I prefer when you can kind of go all over the place and make decisions.
That's fair.
I also prefer starting with boots, but that's a different topic.
Yeah, that ends up being the last thing, pretty much the last thing everybody's getting.
Yeah,
Yep, that and
I was
the ether.
yeah, I was kind of expecting I would find either ether or boots in T-Rock, and then one of them would lead to the other. But they were just both right next to each other, so that was, I guess, all right.
We were thinking the same thing. We were thought, what could possibly happen that could drag this seed out any further after Laser Bridge?
And chat was saying like powder on Trinex to like boots on bat to ether being either bonk rocks or land mollusk.
Yeah, I was thinking Ice Palace for the longest time. If I hadn't got the Fire Rod off of Helma, like if that had just been nothing, I think my next play was Ice Palace.
Actually, you mentioned that. I'm trying to remember who. I think it was Relkin that actually did dip Ice Palace.
Yeah,
But
that would explain why he's behind a bit.
yeah, he actually ended up almost clearing Ice Palace, but couldn't get to a couple of chests due to no hammer at the time.
And no hook shot.
Yeah,
That's
I
right.
mean, I had the hammer, but then I got the book and I decided, okay, I'm gonna check the pedestal along with Skull Woods. Just so like if I do dive Ice Palace, I know if I'm going for the boss or not.
Yep.
So yeah, I just posted in chat just so I can have it on hand, just to reiterate on what that ridiculous logic chain. You had to get the lamp in the C-shaped hut, to get the mirror in Pod, to get the mushroom on Spectacle Rock, to get the hook shot on the mushroom, to get the flute in Spiral Cave, along with the cane, the ice rod, and Swamp. Then the hammer in Mire Shed, then the fire rod on Helmasaur, and then Ether and Boots in Turtle Rock. So, yeesh, talk about linear.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's not a bad collection, right? 138 of 216.
Yeah, and when you don't have to do GT, I mean, if you get a late big key in GT, that always adds, 15 or 20 checks to your counter.
Very
Yep.
true. Alright, Relkin making their way now to Vitreous.
And Ovidius is now into the land mollusk fight. With a gold shield, might I add.
Ooh, yeah, I have no idea where that mirror shield popped up.
Yeah, I saw one in the there was one in the Lost Woods that I didn't pick up. I never found the third one.
I think our tracker Dawning Arc says it was in Mire somewhere.
Oh, okay.
I'd believe that.
And it doesn't help that Mire had a vanilla big key.
Yeah, one kind of trick there. So there's the 2 Firelock chests. The first one is pretty easy to get to, and if that first one has a small key, that means the big key is always going to be vanilla. So that's why I've started checking that chest early on, because that way I know right where the big key is.
Ooh, that is interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah, I only learned that not too long ago. But yeah, I used to just skip the Firelock side entirely, but now I check that one top chest, and if it's not a small key, then I'll just hope that the big key is not vanilla.
Yeah, and usually before V31, we were always seeing hints for what was in left side Mire. Literally everybody checked a hint tile.
Yeah, I only checked it because I wasn't sure if hints were on or off. I forgot to ask.
Yeah,
So-
everybody except Relican checked the Eastern Palace tile, while Relican actually didn't realize it until Spectacle Rock after checking that hint tile, and his reaction was pretty entertaining.
Yeah,
a
we
couple of rage slashes.
they've been kind of going back and forth on whether the hints should be on or off. So I think it's understandable people kind of forget to ask before the race and say, okay, I'll just check the first hint tile.
Yeah, the Eastern Palace one is the most convenient to check. All right. Meanwhile, Ovidius is now fighting the big pig. Did pick up the red mail on Desert Ledge. So it's going to be a little bit more comfortable for them.
Normally I think I would have picked up the red mail, but decided to be brave this time.
Actually, the thing that put you and Cassidy apart for the you were both going through Mire and Desert pretty much simultaneously. However, Cassidy still had to clear Skull Woods, which is why their finish time was a little later than yours.
Actually, that red mail probably would have saved me time because I took a death in Turtle Rock after I got chain chomped for like 1,000,000 hearts.
Yeah, well, that's the chain chomps for you.
So I guess that's a risk you take when you pass up red mail.
Ooh, Ovidius just got a triple silver arrows into the back of Ganon.
Nice.
And Ovidius, now crossing the finish line, gonna have a placement of 12th place with an SRL time of 1:43.06. GG to Ovidius.
Also, I don't know if you know, but I noticed, but I did kind of stop briefly for a few points, and that was because I was eating. So, priorities.
Hey, we understand. It's hard to do rando when you're hungry.
Yeah, I think we saw you stop in Thieves Town, and I think we were just thinking you were determining whether or not to keep going or not.
Well, I was, I was trying to play and eat at the same time, but sometimes it just didn't work. That's the only reason I did Hera Basement. I was like, okay, this will give me like a minute to scarf some food down.
Much more than a coffee break in your case.
That's pretty good. Wow, look at that. Cassidy Moen had a collection rate of 137.
Oh, what did Cassidy not? And that's after Cassidy checked Thieves Town.
I see what it is. The Cane of Burna.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yep. Still pretty interesting.
Yeah, I almost didn't want to pick that up, but I figured maybe I'll need it for Spike Cave. And it actually came in handy in Turtle Rock.
It did. Yeah, we saw you using it to get past the Chain Chomp room. Yeah, I'm trying to think what other checks between the two of you were were not checked because Cassidy checked the rest of Thieves Town while you noped out as soon as you picked up the first 3 items.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh, you
Thieves
know what?
Town was one of the last places I was going back to.
Yeah. Cassidy also didn't get the shovel. That might be the other 2 checks.
Yep.
Yeah, I got a compass in one of the first 2 chests, so I'm like, and I was still missing, I think, 4 or 5 items at the time, so I just said, okay, I'm just gonna full clear this right off the bat.
Ooh, Welkin doing a little hookshot antics there to stay around the fire bats as they are on their big pig fight. And Ganon telling everybody now that the silvers are his one weakness.
Yep.
You ever
Ooh.
seen the message it shows when you go in with no bow?
I have not.
He says, "You have no bow, dingus."
Ah, another dingus quote. Very
Yeah.
nice. But with
Yep.
that, Relkin is the last of our restream runners to cross the finish line with an official SRL time of, I gotta refresh the page, unfortunately, 1:46.31 in 15th place. GG Relkin.
And Ovidius Nasso joining us in chat. GG. And
we also-
Relkin as well. GG to you.
I mean, that's untrue, but thank you.
I heard you took an unfortunate dip into ice.
That wasn't the only thing, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised I placed as well as I did because I had a few kind of not so great moments. Took a death in Turtle Rock and a few other things here and there.
And this again, this was probably one of the most linear seeds I've seen in a long time to be as well. Although for this, if nothing else, there was nothing on pedestal.
Yep.
So Relkin, what was going through your mind when you read the hint in Spectacle Rock?
I just had to confirm that the hints were actually turned off because another race I did recently, they were turned on even though they were supposed to be off. So I was like, okay, before I can kick myself again for muscle memorying hints, let's just see if they were accidentally on for some reason.
Yeah, I think I watched another race a couple of days back that had a similar problem where hints were on and we didn't know it.
Yeah, one of the unfortunate settings that may accidentally get forgotten upon generation.
So, what did you gentlemen think about the logic chain, or to get all the way to the ether and boots in Turtle Rock?
Kept waiting for things to open up, and I kept saying, "This seed's gonna open up. This is gonna open up," and mode, I guess it opened up.
We thought it was going to open up when Hookshot popped out of the mushroom and the hammer in Meyer Shed, but nope. Turned out you had to do like 8 things to get to ether and boots.
Or two, when I was doing all the checks and seeing that Desert was boot locked or Meyer was locked, I kept just thinking, well, everything I check is going to.
On the other hand of that, what'd you guys think about 6-minute silver arrows?
Would have been nice if I got them before Easter, but
And make up for the rest of the seed.
actually the first V31 that I have found.
Sorry, Ovidius. I think you cut out there a little bit.
I was saying this was the first time in V31 that I found silver.
Ah,
Yeah, there's been definitely more silverless fights in this version, just because of the way the bow works now.
Yeah. If any consolation, it's more likely you'll find the bow itself earlier. You just won't find silvers. But with that, is there anything else you folks would like to say about the seed in general?
Earlier boots, please.
And
Oh, yeah.
It's flippers, whatever, Dark World access. Please give me hammer.
Finding hammer so late in the game there.
Thanks you guys for commentary, and thanks to the trackers.
No problem.
Today.
with that said, of course, do give our runners a follow. Cassidy Moen, ETM, Relkin, and Ovidius Nasso. Thank you all for racing for us and putting on a wonderful show. And again, thanks to our trackers, Donning Arc and MathGirl718. Y'all were awesome. Y'all did a great job. And of course, without y'all, we'd have nothing to put on screen.
And also big shout outs to the tech crew behind the scenes as well. With that said, if you folks are looking for more speed gaming action tonight, we do have quite a slew of Zelda 1 Randomizer tournament races in progress, including we have a match going on Speed Gaming 4 between Mr. Cab 55 and J Low 7, one that just started on Channel 2 between Tetra and Leslie Pro 4. And we have 2 additional tournament rounds at 11 o'clock on both the main Speed Gaming channel and Speed Gaming 4. So if you're looking for more randomizer tonight, you may get some there. And our next daily race will be tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. And I believe it will be an Overworld Glitches seed.
No, that's tomorrow evening.
Oh, it's tomorrow night.
Tomorrow afternoon is a regular opener standard. I can't remember words, but
It's a standard 7-7 defeat Ganon. So yeah, my mistake. Wrong time of day. But yeah, still plenty of rando to look forward to in the next 24 hours, ladies and gentlemen. But with that said, I am Captain MD13 along with my co-commentator Poseidon. We wish you a great night and GG's to the runners.
Yep, GG everybody, and thank you for coming.